Batter up.
Rob and Chris, they're on the air. Yankees, Mets, they're everywhere. From the Bronx to Queens, the diamond gleams. MLB talk, the ultimate team. MLB is the place to be. Rob and Chris with the pitch you'll see. Swinging stats and stories fly. Baseball talk that's amplified.
And welcome to a new episode of NY MLB Talk with your host, Rob and Chris, as we cover the Mets, Yankees, and all of Major League Baseball. And if you're on YouTube right now, hit that sub button. We'd appreciate it. If you want to follow us, you know where to follow us on TikTok and on Twitter at NYMLB Talk. And you can also follow Rob at Armorosco. You can follow myself at CP7NY. All right, Rob, we got a special show. We got guests. We got our fans, our viewers coming on. So let's get to it.
Yeah, well, welcome back our good friend John D'Acquisto, former Major League pitcher. I'm not going to name all the teams he played for.
No, your kid will be here all day.
But we love having John on. You guys heard me talk about his book, Fastball John, which for the millionth time, I'm going to recommend it because not only is it a great baseball book, it's a great everything book. This book has baseball in it. It has you know what? You got to read it because it's just so great. John was so truthful in this book, and it's one of my favorite baseball books of all time. It's got to be made into a movie. I hope somebody out there, is smart enough to make this into a movie because it's just a great book. John, how's everything going?
Good. Very good.
Good.
Keeping my old self busy,
Good. That's important.
Way to do. John, by the way, for everybody out there, if you're interested in John's book or his other book that he released, that QR code in the top left-hand corner, just take a picture of it with your phone, and it'll take you directly to his Amazon page, and you could buy that book. You could buy the Fastball John book.
Yep. I got the series going. I got the series going on Dr. Jackson Hale. I got 3 books out now.
3 are out? Great.
Yep.
I can't wait to read those.
Yep. It's a fun read.
Yeah, and I love it, science fiction. I love that concept and that it's a series. So that's great. John, I got to ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
How did you throw 102.4 mile per hour fastball? I mean, when I think about that,
I did it with my hand usually, but they recorded that was Mario Brito in Dodger Stadium in September. I never knew they were tracking me. I had no clue. I found this out later at the end of my career. I never knew I threw that ball that hard. I knew I threw hard because Nolan Ryan told me that I was throwing hard, but I never knew they had the gun on me. They had the gun on me in San Diego, and it was on the Decatur gun, and I was throwing 95. Consistently 95 to 98. And it's like all of a sudden I'm hearing 102.4 in September. Oh my God.
That's just amazing. And I just wanted to quick say what we're doing here. We're sort of having like a call in, but a viewer in show. We're experimenting today. And John was good enough to say, I like to be part of an experiment. So, we have people out there waiting in our studio that are going to come on, make a comment, ask John a question, and we're going to test it out. And if it works, we'll do this more often. So if anybody's out there and they want to join, you got to you send me a message to X now because I'm also on X monitoring it. So send me a direct message on X. If you want to ask John a question, don't be shy. If you want to yell at me and Chris, you could even yell at me and Chris, whatever you want to do. But that's what we're gonna do today. And we have Armand on with breaking news. Yes, we figured that the Mets would be stupid. would be
especially with
stupid
Thompson
not
getting
to.
hurt too, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, which, the guy was having a good spring. But anyway, so if you want to ask John a question, if you want to make a comment or whatever, just let me know. I'm on X right now monitoring it while we talk to John. So, John, I was telling Chris the other night, we had another former Padres pitcher, Brian Tolberg, on Friday night. And I want to bring this up because of the injuries. His career started off really good with the Padres. His first 2 games were amazing. First game he pitched a shutout. Both games he pitched amazing. He was National League Pitcher of the Week.
Yes.
And do you know Brian Tolberg?
I know who he is. Yes. We had no interaction because he was further on down the line.
Yeah.
More towards the 90s, if I remember. But yeah, I did watch him a lot. And, in the interaction department at that time, I wasn't available at that time, if you recall in the book.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely recall. But yeah, he pitched in 2000s till 2003. And then he got hurt. He had Tommy John surgery, and he couldn't really come back from it, which it's a shame. I mean, you had the surgery too, and we know what happened with you. But I was joking with Chris. We've had a lot of Padres on the show recently.
Yeah. The old Padre alumni showing up like crazy, but they do play on other teams, so
that's it.
Definitely that's
they get around.
Yeah, they've been around. It's journeyman society. That's what it is.
Nothing wrong with that.
No,
not at all.
Chris, did you want to ask John something?
Yeah, you know what, John? I know we always talked about your great numbers against Schmidt, right? Striking him out 8-9 times in a row.
Yeah.
Who was the guy that was the complete opposite, that you couldn't get out for whatever reason? Was just
I had 2 guys, Chris. I had 2 guys, and believe it or not, I used to face them frequently because I pitched against the Pittsburgh Pirates a lot, and I pitched against the Houston Astros a lot. Why? Because nobody else wanted to, right? Nobody else wanted to pitch against the Lumber Company and the Houston Astros, pitching against Nolan Ryan and things like that. I loved pitching against Nolan Ryan, and J.R. Richards. But there were 2 guys that could constantly come up and get a double with 0-2, and I would try to throw a curveball. They knew what was coming because I was tipping my pitches, as the interview of Pete Rose said, and one of them was Enos Cabell.
Oh, wow.
Enos Cabell, I would throw a slider. In fact, he's the one that hit me in the mouth with the line drive when I threw a slider. And it was in 1977, I believe. And I threw a slider, and he came right up the middle, and I crossed my hands like that, and the ball was right in the middle of my hands. And it hit me right in the mouth, right here.
Ooh.
And I was out for like a couple minutes. And when I woke up, I saw Fingers. And Fingers is going, "You should have charged that ball."
That's great.
The other guy was Richie Zisk. Richie Zisk, he was a great breaking ball hitter to begin with. And every time I would throw 2 fastballs right by him, and I'm going, could he be looking for that magical curveball? Answer, yep, curveball. Good curveball, opposite field, off the wall, double. And I'm going, Maron, what's going on? Right.
Fastball.
No one's supposed to be looking curveball on me. What's going on? Those 2 guys gave me hissy fits, man.
That's great.
But most of the time, I used to pretty much get everybody out. I mean, I was always getting myself in trouble, by walking people and giving up a little blooper to the right side of the diamond, that would hit the chalk and then roll down the field for a triple or something because, that's just the way things were, and you'd make a good pitch, but you'd end up, selling yourself out by walking people. Right. So I learned fast to stop walking people,
Definitely. Now, I'm going to bring in our first viewer to ask a question. I'm going to bring in good friend of the show and one of our best. He's not only a guest, he's part of the show, but I'm going to bring in Anthony Savino. Everybody loves Anthony. So let me bring him in.
Yeah, tough one.
Hi, John.
Hey, Anthony.
Well, you see, when my father was alive, I'd say, who's pitching against the Mets today? He'd say, John Bear. I say, who's Bear? He said, Dick Quisto. He throws the ball so it looks like a pill coming in. He goes, I can't say his last name. I call him John Bear.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
But boy, let me tell you something. You own, these are the players he owned batting. Joe Morgan, 172 lifetime average. Jose Cruz, 200. Ted Simmons, 115. Mike Schmidt, 190. Bill Buckner, 188. Reggie Smith, 150. A lot of lefties you got out pretty easy, huh, John?
I had no trouble with the lefties because I had that good cutter. I'd throw it right down the middle of the plate and it'd run it right into their hands, and they couldn't hit it to save their life, boy. Tell you.
I saw you pitch a lot. He had a plus record against the Mets. I know that.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
My question is this: Mets, I liked Ralph Kiner a lot because I was always on his show.
And John, what did you get? What did you get? Like a watch or a free dinner or something for going on?
Steakhouse, right?
Yeah, I got a watch that didn't work after 2 weeks, but
a watch that didn't work
I got lots of free dinners at Rusty's, but I was getting those anyway. But Ralph was great to me. Ralph really.
I noticed when I came on, John, you looked at me like you might recognize me. I'm Shrek. I'm the stand-in Shrek. The movie. I was just standing. So if you look familiar, that's what I look like. My question is this.
Yes, sir.
I noticed in high school you were an All-American linebacker in football.
That's correct.
What were your chances of going that way, playing football?
Well, when I hurt my arm, Sid Gilman contacted my dad in San Diego, and he said if Johnny doesn't make it back as a baseball player, we'll take him as a football player. I'll put him in the middle. We'll put some weight on him. I'll put him in the middle. He could play linebacker for me anytime. And I said, really? And then Duke Snyder, when I was in Montreal, he's doing an interview with me up top, with Claude. And he goes, you were a better football player than you were a baseball player.
Yeah, I mean, All-American in high school, that's huge.
Yeah, I made it.
How many thousands of kids?
McDonald's, it was a McDonald's All-American high school team. Yep.
I played both, but I wasn't an All-American. So I did try basketball, and he used to call me the White Rhino. He said, son, this game is not for you. You can't be knocking people over. It's not football. So I had to get out.
You were a hatchet man. That's what you were.
I was. Yeah. Let me tell you, growing up, I knew who you were. I used to watch your pitch. I was a fan. You threw hard. When you were on before talking about the radar gun, I really learned a lot because I didn't know they pick it up out of the guy's hand now. I didn't know that, that were crossing the plate, That's
exactly correct. So it was faster. If it was measured today in today's game, it'd probably be about 108. They say it's about 5 to 6 mile an hour difference.
I know, because I said, wow. I was watching my friend. I said, well, everybody throws 98 now, 99. All of a sudden,
Yeah, where are these guys getting 98, 99? Everybody's throwing that high? I don't think so. So subtract 6 miles an hour off the 98, it's 92, which is more understandable and real. But I know I work for them. So they were saying they take it from the release point. When the ball comes off the hand, that's the fastest the arm's going and the ball's going at that time. So
I never knew that.
Yeah.
I only got radar once. I had to try it with the Yankees back in '83 out of high school. I topped out like 92. And I'm only 5'11". I used to tell my father what happened. He was 6'5". He threw really hard. He was with the Indians for a little bit in the late 50s. But
there you
I
go.
said, something happened wrong. I said, I can't even catch a break.
That's and you did
92 was good back then.
Yeah, and you did some good research. That's great with John. Listen, everybody, we're looking forward to having Anthony back as a guest soon.
I will be back. And Mr. D'Acquisto, it was a pleasure meeting you.
All right,
you too, Anthony. Take care.
Okay.
Thanks, Ant. We'll talk soon.
I gotta go back doing housework now. So thank you very much.
Great questions.
Okay, that's great. So see that's good. We got a couple others waiting. I just want to, before I bring in the next one, I just wanted to ask you about the Ricky Henderson story that you told us before with the uniform and everything.
Oh yeah, when I first got into Oakland, I had number 32. So Ricky was number 35. And so I was sitting kind of like by Ricky, and Michael Norris was sitting to the left of me. And so the numbers were, playing out that way, 27, 32, 35. So, we were there. And in comes walking Sandy Alderson. And he goes up to Ricky and he says, "Ricky, what'd you do with the check I gave you?" And he goes, Oh, you mean the check you gave me for breaking the record? Yeah. What'd you do with it? I framed it. It's on my wall. Ricky, you can't put a check for $2 million on your wall. You need to put it in the bank. So he goes, leave it up on your wall. We'll void it. And here's another check. Michael, make sure he goes to the bank and puts us in the bank, okay?
That's a great story.
I'm dying.
Chris, you got something to ask before I bring in the next viewer?
You know what? Just about Ricky. I mean, we've heard the crazy stories about Ricky. Any other stories about Ricky Henderson? Because I'm sure they're endless about Ricky Henderson.
Well, he was great. He was just an easygoing guy, And Ricky's preparation on how he prepared for a game. I've never seen anyone do this, but he had stretching and he'd go lift, he'd go do what he had to do, he'd go run a little bit, get loose. But he was really quiet because he didn't really like communicating with the guys because he didn't really want to. He was like so focused in his head about what he had to do. I remember that he came up to me, he shook my hand, and he says, "I just want to say welcome to the club. It's nice to have you on the team because now you won't throw at me anymore." And picked me off at first base because I knew something about Ricky that a lot of guys didn't know.
Oh, what was that?
How he leaned into the bag at first. Leaned into the bag so he could put his weight on his back leg to take a slide step, and he was gone. That's how he got to second and third so fast because he had that little gig going. So I would see him on the mound and I'd have him in the corner of my eye. I'd be looking, and if he appeared in the corner of my eye and then disappeared, I would throw over real quick. And it was what I'd call a Bach move. It was you lift the heel. Marichal taught me this. You lift the heel up and you spin, and you fire it over to first. Well, I had that play down. I used to pick him off every time, and he was pissed. Oh my God. And so he says, "Yeah, now you're on my team. Now you won't pick me off anymore and throw at me and strike me out." And he was complaining about everything. But that was Ricky. Ricky was like that.
That's a great story. We're going to bring in another viewer. We're going to bring Dan in. Dan's been waiting. Hey, Dan, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks. Hey, John, Chris.
How you doing, Dan? Good to see you.
Yeah, it's great to have you on.
First of all, I got to say, Chris stole my thunder when he asked. I was going to ask him who was the hardest hitters that he ever
Oh, he
faced.
stole your thunder. Oh,
There's
yeah.
probably a couple more, right, John?
That's
There's
okay.
probably a couple more, right, John?
Oh, yeah. There's a lot more.
One or two.
One other question I had for you with Bob Gibson, Bob Gibson.
Yeah.
Yes.
You said you the last show you said you threw at him and he got mad and you were throwing at each other or whatever.
Yeah.
I tell you, I give you so much credit for doing this against this guy. I'll tell you because he was I as a kid I was watching him and he was most of the nastiest pitcher I've ever seen. I'll tell you.
Yeah, he was. I actually thought, Dan, that he was going to kill me. I literally thought that. I mean, the first time I knocked him down was a curveball that got away from me, but he didn't care. He was on his back. And then when I led off the next inning, and I'm up there, the first freaking pitch was right at my noggin. And I saw a ball that looked like about this big, and I threw my feet out from underneath me, and I hit my foot on the ground, and my helmet went up, and it hit the helmet and broke the helmet. And I'm going, my God! And you don't get first base because it wasn't on your head. So I had to go up there again to face him. But the next pitch, I hit a line shot up the middle off of him. He comes back with a fastball like, oh, you didn't just do that. Boom! Up the middle, right by his ear, and he was looking at me. Next time around, I came up again, boop, on my back again. Here we go. And it was back and forth, and it was the quietest I've ever heard Busch Stadium in a game.
Wow.
People were always cheering, but this game, it was dead silent. It was like everyone was watching Gibson and D'Acquisto going at it, and nobody in the dugout said a word, and nobody in their dugout said a word. It was just me and Gibby going at it.
I give you so much credit for that, John. I'll tell you.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, Dan, we just want to, while I have you on here, we just want to thank you. We appreciate your viewership because you're one of our biggest fans and followers. You watch every show, you comment about every show, and we really appreciate it a lot.
Yes, we do. Thank you.
Chris, just to let you know, I got my Yankees shirt on, so you know.
There you go. See,
All right.
All right. Well,
Dan's my only help on the shows always.
John, I've been a Yankee fan for 70 years.
There you go.
Good for you.
You got me beat by a little bit for sure.
Yeah, a little bit.
Dan, on Wednesday night at 7 p.m., we're going to have our Yankee pregame show, just so that you know.
7 p.m., okay.
On Wednesday night. And Dan, thanks again. We're glad that you came on, and we'll do this again soon.
Yeah, for sure. John, lots of luck to you, and lots of luck with your books.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dan. Thank you. I appreciate it, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, that's it. John, you're the perfect person to do this with. I'm telling you.
This is going good. What are you kidding me?
You are. It's like the minute when you told me, I'll come on and do that, and we're getting a lot of viewers popping up, which is great. But when you said you'll do this, I'm like, John is definitely the one to do it. Go ahead, Chris. Ask John something.
No, I think the greatest story you've told is the one about with Gibson, but what happened after the game, not during the game.
The elevator.
Yes.
The dance in the elevator.
I love it. Because Bob Gibson is probably the most intimidating, or one of the most intimidating players ever in baseball.
You should have seen him in the elevator, my friend.
Sure, I wouldn't want to.
Oh yeah. I will tell this story. After the game that I just talked about, knocking each other down, about killing each other, I go into the back elevator at Busch Stadium, which is the back elevator that the players take to avoid, having to sign a lot of autographs. I'll put it that way. Elevator doors open downstairs. It's pitch dark, black dark. I walk in, I go to the left side of the elevator. I thought there was nobody in there in the elevator. All of a sudden, I catch movement in the left of my eye.
Mm-hmm.
And I look and I go, oh my God, it's Gibson. So I'm 21 years old. Come on. You know, I was brought up, I don't care what type of baseball game we were involved in, what type of fight we got in. It was challenging, competitive, and I was excited that I won the game and went 9. So I go, nice game, Gibby. F you. Right out of his mouth. Boom. I said, okay. I don't know why you're talking to me that way, but you're not going to intimidate me. F you again. Okay. So I walked over to him and he pushed me. Well, as he pushed me, I'm pretty quick. And I got a little martial arts background in my background blood. Up came my hands and went on like a vice grip. He tried to get away and couldn't. I had him locked. What you doing this? And all of a sudden, I spun him around and he tripped off. He tripped over my legs and went down on the ground. And I was not going to let go of Gibby's arms. I'm not letting go. I'm holding on for dear life. And we hit the door of the elevator, and the door opened like in the Keystone Cops. And out we go, and there's all my teammates are sitting there. All of them. They're all there waiting for me because we're going to go eat down at the riverfront. And we fall out. Gibby gets up right away. He started calling me every name in the book, and they're trying to keep him away and keep me away. And he goes, I'm going to wait. I know you're going to pitch again, and it's in San Francisco when we get there, and I'm going to be ready for you. I'm gonna go head to head with you. I'm going to be waiting for you, D'Acquisto. I'm going to tell you that right now. And I'm going, well, I guess that's one guy you don't want to get mad at you. But he's mad. He's mad.
He seems like he was always mad, though, Gibson.
Oh, he was always mad. He was the intimidator.
Yeah.
But he didn't think that this kid was going to intimidate him.
Right.
Yeah, he had a chip on his shoulder, but I mean,
Chip, he had a brick. Oh my God.
All right, we're gonna bring in. We have another viewer out there that wants to ask you a question. So let's bring him in. We're gonna bring in Joe Dell. Hey, Joe.
So an honor, sir. You were part of my childhood back in the day. Me and my friends ate, drank, and slept baseball. Literally, we were poor. We nibbled on baseball. Sometimes use them as pillows, but you were, and it's a pleasure. You know, baseball was such an important part of giving us a childhood.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you. Appreciate it.
And seeing that Chris already took my question too, I got to come up with a quick one. So, John, being a fellow Paisan, where do you think Jimmy Hoffa's body's located?
There you go. That's a good one.
Let's see. Last meeting I was in with the boys.
I'm kidding. No, but the thing is, I was going to go with Chris
because bridge in the dump site there. You know?
Yeah. So it ain't Giant Stadium, huh? I guess
Giant Stadium is what I heard. Yeah.
No, I was going to go where Chris went because I enjoyed your Gibson story in the elevator. Because
oh God, yeah.
Being an old Met fan, I love the '86 Mets because there was always brawls breaking out.
Oh,
but
yeah.
In serious question. When you were on the mound outside of Gibson, I guess, who was the guy that if you knew you beamed and he came running to the mound, you're going to have to throw down? Like one of the toughest.
Oh, God. Whew. Well, Doug Rader was probably one of the main guys that I never thought I would have to face if I hit him and he got PO'd at me and came out after me. That he could probably tear my throat out and get down my neck, you know. He was one. The other guys that probably half the lumber company, but they were nice guys. They didn't have a mean streak in their bodies. Pops and Parker, they were just, hey, we'll just kick your butt and be done with it, but there were a couple of guys that Cincinnati that I thought were potential that if there was a fight. Bench was one of them.
Johnny,
yeah. Probably Perez was a nice guy. I didn't worry about Tony, but I'd say Johnny was probably one of the ones that, because I had confrontations with Bench a number of times, and he just wanted to hit me deep every time, and he would just pop it up, and he was so mad about that. But Johnny was cool, I got past that. There were some guys in the American League. I know when I played for Oakland, Billy thought I was his hit man.
Yeah.
And so he'd go, hey, Gombadi. He says, come on over here. I want you to Jeff Torborg. Yeah, I said, yeah, 6'4", 245. Yeah, I see Torborg. He says, hit him.
Right to the point. I love that.
That's great.
Don't brush him back.
I don't think it was Torborg. It was some other name. It wasn't Torborg. It was another guy for Texas Rangers, the first baseman, Jeff.
Burrows?
Burrows, Jeff Burrows?
Right?
No, he was on our team.
That's right. He was.
Yeah. No, this is another guy. I can't. Anyway, he was a first baseman. It's coming to me. It's coming. It's an H. Begins with an H. H. Anyway, he goes, I want you to hit him. I said, okay. So first pitch I throw goes over his head. And if you're familiar with Oakland Alameda Coliseum, there's a pole in the middle of the backstop. Right in the middle where the pads come together. There's a pole. Big pole right in the middle. The ball goes off the pole, kicks back, hits him right in the ankle, and the guy goes down, right? Billy said, we didn't get you on the first time, we got you on the replay.
Yeah, that's great.
And then I drilled him. Because if I didn't do what Billy asked to do, Billy, you don't pitch for Billy anymore.
Yeah.
I hit him. Jeff Hofsteller. There, okay?
That's it, Jeff Hofsteller. Okay.
Yeah, same thing. 6'4", 245. Anyway, he walks down, and Billy's yelling at him. Come on, aren't you going to run out after him? He's waiting for you. Come on. And he looked at me, and I said, come on. You want to come out? Come on. And I go, he didn't do anything. He just walked away. And I get in the dugout, and Billy's patting me on the head. He goes, oh, good job, Gumbati. Good job. Yeah.
That's great. Those are great stories, Joe. So,
I got one more side one.
Go ahead.
When you were pitching, did you ever see a guy with his pine tar so high you just went, screw this, I'm pegging him?
Yeah, I did. You thought George Brett? I played with Oakland in my last game, and Brett had his pine tar up the label again, and Billy was the manager, so Billy was bitching about it in the dugout. Damn, George Brett. All of a sudden, the phone's ringing. Hey, John, Billy wants you to get going. I go, oh, boy. Okay. Well, Billy's sign to me was this, to hit someone. If he couldn't come out and talk to me, he'd do this. So I get loose. He brings me in the game. First guy I'm facing is George Brett. And he's going like this. I throw one under his chin. He goes down on his knees. Second one I throw behind him, he went forward and missed. I missed. And I'm going, how am I going to hit this guy? So I said, best place in the world is the butt. Boink. Hit him right in the butt cheek. And you hear Billy jump. So you want to put that pine tar up a little further?
That's great.
Billy, man. Billy wanted to fight, because we weren't doing that good. We were 15 games out of first place, and Billy was pissed off to begin with. And, it was like, this just was, the pièce de resistance of the end of the season was I ended up giving up 4 runs and it wrecked my ERA for the year, but I didn't care, because Billy said you took one for the team, Goombody. Yeah. That's what it's all about right there,
That's great.
All right, John, I got a question before Joe goes, because Joe's a musician, a very good musician, by the way.
Thank you.
So this will kind of play into this this question. I don't think it was that big when you were playing, but what do you think of, you hear a lot of music going on in the games now, in between innings.
Yeah.
You got the walk-up songs. Like,
Yeah.
what is your feelings about all
Feeling
that?
about that? Well, I come from a family, Joe, of the guitar maker, Jimmy DeQuisto. He was the maker of the DeQuisto guitars, the arch tops. And in fact, I have one here that is great, and I'll show it to you. But he, with all the stuff that's going on today, it was kind of crazy that you see things.
It's acoustic, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did acoustic. It was an archtop jazz guitar.
Nice.
See it?
Oh,
Yeah.
there it is.
Yeah. Beautiful. It's sort of disappeared. Wait, I can't see the body. The body's disappeared. There it is.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's a Centurion.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
Okay. This is my pride and joy. So, I mean, I wanted to have AC/DC play my walk-up music, and it was Thunderstruck.
Oh,
Good
yeah.
tune.
Would
Great
have
tune.
been a great song to play.
Absolutely.
I ended up taking Led Zeppelin, Whole Lot of Love, because I was single at the time. So I kind of figured I would get a whole lot of love coming out of that. The girls all hot and bothered at the time. But other than that, the music that they're playing, it's taking the game to being a show. Okay. The game. I'm a purist.
Yeah.
Me too.
I grew up as a purist. I like music. I like the music to play between the innings. That's cool, But everyone's got to walk up and this and that. And I'm going, can't we just play baseball?
Yes.
Agreed.
That's basically how I
Interesting,
feel
though.
about it. But I love the music, to play. Yes. But anyway.
Yeah. And Joe Dell's the keyboard is for Sleepy Hollow and Spectrum Green. So
Cool. Pleasure to meet you, sir.
Thank you.
excellent keyboard player. And Joe did the closing music for our show also, by the way.
Oh, great.
New York,
Wow.
which
Good
is
job.
good.
So if you need a
anyway.
keyboardist at all, John, he's your guy right there. Any kind of music, talk to Joe Dell. He's the guy.
Definitely. But all right, Joe.
I got you now, Joe. I got you now.
There you go. He got you.
It's in the La Familia.
Yeah.
You're in the family now, right?
All right. Listen, Joe, thanks for coming on. We appreciate everything, and we'll talk to you
Pleasure,
soon.
guys, and a pleasure meeting Mr. D'Acquisto sincerely. It's been my pleasure.
Call me John. Call me John, Joe. Okay. Mr. D'Acquisto's my father.
All right, Joe.
But anyway,
Okay.
thank you. Thank you very much, Joe. I appreciate you, sir. It was nice to meet you.
All right. So, hey, that was pretty good, John. We appreciate you taking these video calls, and it worked out pretty well.
It's
So we're
fun.
gonna.
I like the venue. It's fun.
Chris, we're gonna. I think we're gonna just add that. And we'll see what guests want them. If the guests want them, we'll do it, and we'll do it when just me and you do the shows. All right, listen, John, I had a quick question, and then I'll let Chris ask one. What did you think? What do you think about the WBC?
I have mixed feelings and emotions about it.
Okay.
I think it goes back to real baseball. I will say that. It's almost like a soccer type match.
Okay.
A lot of screaming, a lot of cheering, a lot of, country to country. But there's good battles. There's good games. It's a lot of expression coming out from the people playing the games that are, this is not a time of happiness in the world. This is a time of turmoil. The WBC gave people an interesting perspective on how the world can get along. Okay? Having the ability to play against each other with good sportsmanship and good conduct. I thought that was a prime example of what the WBC is all about. And to see the outcome the way it happened was, I'd like to see the USA win. I'm a USA guy. But seeing the Dominican win, seeing Venezuela win was even better because of what's been happening to the country, and to have that happen, it's kind of an expression of karma.
Yep,
as you would say. Okay. I don't like to get too much into the political stuff because I don't like politics. I think it ruins friendships and it ruins families and everything else to go with it.
That's true.
Yeah. And so I stay away from it. But that's my perspective of the whole thing. I think it's great. I think that the only thing I don't like is that it takes the players away from what they have to do for their teams. Spring training is an very important factor for a Major League Baseball team to decide on what players they're going to keep for the season and what they can use off of the AAA, AA rosters. And when you got these guys going off to go play, and what happens to the camaraderie and the chemistry of the team that you play for? How are they going to know how to play with you? How are they going to, you kind of lose some track there for 2 weeks. And those 2 weeks are right at the period when you really need those 2 weeks to have the team gel.
Yeah.
Especially with pitching, catching, shortstop, second base, especially. And then knowing what your bullpen's going to be able to do. So those things I see are a little bit detrimental to the aspect of a Major League Ball club. But in the whole picture, I think the WBC has a lot to offer and a lot to offer to humanity to show that we can all get along together and play against each other, but for the same purpose.
Right.
Agree. Go ahead, Chris. Take your
follow.
follow.
I think, John, I think it'll be interesting to see how some of these players, especially the ones that made it through all the way to the final or semifinal, how their season turns out to be. How does their regular season missing a couple of weeks, even though they were playing, pretty intense games, obviously.
Well, it's different when you're with your team too, Chris. Right. It's like you're playing with your guys and learning about them. I mean, you might know about them, that you've been with them for 5 or 6 years, but you still have to play with them where they are now. They might be a little different, a little slower, a little less attentive to things. You have to play together to know their quirks. And if you don't know that, pickoff plays, especially in the infield, what's your signal to the shortstop? What's your signal to the second baseman? How do you count your timing? Things like that are really important. First base is the same thing. And those are things that you have to know when you don't have those 2 weeks in between. And they're gone for more than 2 weeks, too. That's just when they're playing. They're gone for, isn't it about 2 weeks prior to that also?
Maybe a couple of days before.
Is it a couple of days? Okay.
Yeah.
I need to know it to be about a week or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think about
Still,
it.
it's tough, like you said, that's still 2 weeks, 3 weeks that you're not with your teammates. You're not getting that chemistry, even though, like you said, like Judge has been on the Yankees for, since 2016, 2017. He's had a few teammates that he's, obviously they brought back, 95% of the team from last season. But it's still, like you said, especially coming back from the off season, you got to get back into it. I'm sure. You got
to know who's going who.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's going to go where and
I
go
agree.
what. And now you got Torres. Glaber.
Yep.
He's out. And so things like that. Or who was it? Anthony Volpe.
Yep. Yeah, he's been out. Injury.
Yeah.
So you got replacements coming in. You got to play with them, and you got to know because they're going to play in the middle of the season in spring training. They're going to play in the middle, and that's the 2 weeks that you need to get to know these kids when they're up there. I think it's good that I've seen a lot more kids starting to come back in.
Yep, I like that.
Which gives the kids, because I wrote a paper on stagnation of Major League Baseball talent, where you got a lot of these kids, they come out and they're playing AAA ball, AA ball, and they're not advancing because they can't. They really can't. You got a 7-year contract, 6-year contract, 5-year contract on guys in your position. What are you going to do? You're going to go Rule 5? That's the only thing you got. You go Rule 5, you just dropped 5 years. 5 years, you're now coming out you're getting to the big leagues and you're 22 years of age if you're lucky. They're 22 years of age and you got another 5 years tacked on. You're 27. You got maybe 4 or 5 years left. Who knows?
Right.
A lot of talent gets overlooked. It gets overlooked.
You're right.
To kind of add to your point, just with the Yankees, we don't have to get to every other team, but just getting back to the Yankees, Jazz Chisholm went for the WBC. He's their starting second baseman. Their starting shortstop, like you said, Volpe is out, so it's Jose Caballero.
Yeah,
he
Caballero.
For Nicaragua, I think. So he was out for a little bit.
Yeah.
Austin Wells, he was the catcher for the Dominican Republic. So that's like right up the middle, which you're talking about.
Yeah, and we all know you got to have strong up the middle.
Yes,
Yep.
there you go. Defense up the middle is.
You have to.
Power at the corners, right? Power at the corners.
Hey, you were a pitcher. You appreciated a good defense up the middle, right?
I had some good defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. You did with the Giants, especially. You did.
Oh, yeah,
Speaking of young players, this is really young. But in your book, you talked about Barry Bonds when he was a kid, when Bobby was your teammate. Why don't you? The viewers definitely would like to hear about that.
Oh well, Barry was given to me by his dad. I'll put it that way. Barry was a great little kid. He would come out, he'd call me Uncle John, and he would say, Uncle John, can we play shag fly balls? Play, my turn, your turn. I said, yeah, sure. You want to play that? You sure you want to play that against me? I'm pretty good at this. He goes, well, I'm better. And I went, boom.
That's definitely Barry.
Yeah, right out from the day he was 6, 7, 8 years old, here he comes at you already, I said, all right, smarty pants, here we go. You're first. Ball hit to the gap. Off he goes. Beep, catches it. I go, dang. This kid's got some action, man. So we play, and then afterwards we'd go back and and he'd come back, walking, strutting his stuff, and I go, hey, don't get too far out there, because I'm going to show you what I can do. I used to play outfield, Yeah, sure. And he was always jawing on me, man, that kid. But I took off. I made my catch, and I came back. I flip him the ball, and he goes, not bad for an old guy. I said, old guy? Yeah, compared to you. I said, I'm almost as young as you. I'm only 21 years old. He'd go, well, that's not old. I said, well, show some respect. And it was just always like that. But here's the funniest story. Later on in my career, I worked for MLB and I was doing game compliance and all that stuff. So Miami comes into town. I got Mattingly, and I've got Tim Wallach, and I got Barry Bonds up at the cage. Bonds is off to the side. He's checking hitters out. Wallach and Mad Dog are together. They're talking about, what they got to do and all this. And I walk up and I get right in the middle. So Bonds is up there and I go, hey, BB. Nobody calls Barry BB.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think it.
Nobody does. But me. So he looks. He goes, yeah, what? I said, do you remember shagging fly balls out at Candlestick Park when you were about 8? How do you expect me to remember that?
Wow.
I said, I don't expect you to do anything, but I do expect you to remember John D'Acquisto. Oh, yeah, I remember him. Oh, yeah. I said, well, you're looking at him. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, geez. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, Uncle John. Oh, my God. And my wife is at the game. She's sitting over by the dugout, okay, right on the side there. And I'm going, honey, get your phone out. I got to take a picture with this schmuck here. So she's looking for her phone, and everyone's going, oh, my God, John, Barry. How does John know Barry? And they didn't put 2 and 2 together. So I never got hugged so many times from him. Walking back to the dugout, he wouldn't let me go. Sharon, did you get your phone? I can't find my phone. Of course you can't find your phone. Guys, can you take some pictures, please? The press guys.
Yeah.
They took some pictures. I think they kept them more than they gave them to me.
Probably.
Yeah. And so, I'm sitting here going, oh, this is great. And then later on, we had time to sit and talk and ask him about mom, how's mom doing, Pat, but this is all this. And I used to take him after we would catch flies and we'd go to the clubhouse and his dad would tell me, don't give him too much ice cream. And I said, what are you talking about? You're telling me not to give your son ice cream? Get out of here. I'm going to give him ice cream. He sat at my locker and I go to I said, what do you want? You want a popsicle? Or you want a 50-50? What do you want? I want a chocolate bar. Okay. Fudsicle. I bring him back Fudsicle. We'd sit there and eat ice cream before the game.
That's a great story.
That lasted for a while. Okay. Yeah, what a great kid.
And then Bobby got traded to the Yankees. We know for Bobby Mercer, and we only got a couple minutes. But Chris, I gotta go Yankee, Chris, for a second. When Bobby Mercer, and I think we might have discussed this for a little, when he came to the Giants, he was not a happy man. I mean, he loved the Yankees.
He told me he wasn't. Yeah.
Could you give me like one or two things that he said when he was traded to the Giants?
Yeah, we talked about it. He says, I've always wanted to be a Yankee, and I was supposed to take Mantle's spot, and and be the next golden boy and all of the above. And he goes, you know what, John? He says, it really disappointed me that they gave up on me so soon and sent me off, to San Francisco, clear across to the other side of the world. He says, I always wanted to be a Yankee, and I always wanted to finish my career as a Yankee, which he eventually did as a broadcaster.
Right.
Correct?
And he played one more year. He did play one more year with the Yankees.
Yeah.
He came back and played one more year, and because he went to the Cubbies too.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yes. Yep.
So, but Mercer and I were very, very close. And one year, this is funny story. We have our physicals at Casa Grande every year. They take us and they take our blood and and give us physicals and all that. Well, I get called into the trainer's room, and they tell me that I've been tagged as a diabetic, and I'm not. I knew I wasn't. So I get back to my locker and I'm down, and Merce comes up and he says, "What's the matter?" And I said, "Well, they say I'm a diabetic." And I said, he goes, "Anything you want, anything you have to do, I'll get it for you. I'll get you your meals. I'll take care of you. I'll make sure that you're ready to play, that you get the proper food. I'll take care of it. Anything you want, anything you need." That's Bobby Mercer.
Wow.
So Merce and I got to go back down to go give more blood, right? Guess who? Mercer's with me. Boy, he was telling these doctors and nurses, "You need to take care of this star pitcher of ours, and he's this and that." No, I said, "Hey, lighten up, will you? Quit being a helicopter buddy." And he started laughing. He says, "Okay, I will. But you got to take care of this guy."
Right.
Yeah.
You got to love Bobby for that.
Well, they had the wrong sample.
Oh.
What happened? And Merce goes, "Jiminy Christmas," in his Oklahoma accent.
Yeah.
"Jiminy Christmas, you telling me that he's going to get this wrong?" And no. And I said, "Well, shit happens."
You're right.
Merce and I, we hung together in '75.
That's great. That's another great story. Well, Chris,
that's when I got hurt.
Oh, that's right.
So who was the player that ended up having diabetes? Do you know?
Oh, I don't know. There was somebody on the team. I know there was. I think it was Ron Bryant. It was Ron Bryant.
Oh, okay.
Ronnie hadn't been traded yet.
Oh, okay.
In '74, Bryant got hurt, and he was making a comeback in '75. He was like 2-12 or something like that in '75. So I think he was the one that had it. Yeah.
Hey, my good friend Paul Marzano from my old radio days is out there. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one, Paul. Thanks for tuning in. Anyway, we're down to the last minute and a half. Chris, do you have anything else before I make our announcement?
I don't think I got anything else. I think anything else we have to save for another show.
Yes, didn't get.
Otherwise, we'll have another hour to go. So, John, just want to say thank you. I mean, we can't thank you enough for everything, for coming on and sharing these stories and helping us out so much. We really appreciate it.
Well, it's a real pleasure for me to do this for you guys. Because I'm going to be here to support you in everything that I do and carry it forward for you so your show becomes successful. If I can be a part of that, being that you become successful, it makes me absolutely happy.
John, we appreciate it. We love you, John, and you're the best. We didn't get to half the stuff that I wanted to get to. We didn't get to talk about the painting.
But that always happens so I could come back again.
Exactly.
We got to do part 4 or something we're up to now, but
yeah, definitely. All right, I got a couple of quick announcements before we go. We're starting a new show. We were asked by the Romantic About Baseball guys to do a show with them. So starting April 1st, we're going to do Clearing the Bases with Nick and Jason from romantic about baseball. So you guys are going to want to check it out. That's going to be also a live show. That's starting April 1st. It's going to be a weekly show. Tonight, me and Chris are on Swinging a Miss podcast at 7:30 p.m. That's another one. Chris, we are all over the place. Yeah. Wednesday night, we have our Yankees pregame show at 7 p.m. Thursday, we have our Mets pregame show at 12:30 p.m. And Friday night, Chris, you got the picture. One of our other favorite guests will be back on. That's right. Mets Puppet Bill will come on and give us his views of the upcoming season, tell us what he's been doing, what he did over the winter, and what he thinks about the New York Mets team. So that's Friday night at 9 p.m. So we're on every day except for tomorrow, Chris. So
yeah, basically, right.
It's going to be fun. Anyway, John, thanks. We will have you on really soon because we love when you come on, and we'll see everybody. You know, you got our schedule. Whenever you see us, you see us. We appreciate it. We had a big crowd today, too.
Just hit the sub button on YouTube and follow us on TikTok and Twitter.
Everything.
So you keep, just to keep tabs on us so you know where we're going to be.
Yeah. And we'll catch you guys. Thanks.